Thank you for coming to Penn State, I want to say. I've seen like a lot of your videos. How come when you talk to people about Jewish situations that they get so mad and they're so biased because they're Jewish that they don't see the situation that's actually going on?
So just so I make sure I have this right, sorry. So why is it that Zionist Jews can't see the problem? Is that your question?
Yeah, it's also like I was talking with a girl who's Jewish the other day, and she's like she can't even see the other side of it. She's so one-sided.
Oh. Well, I mean, we gotta. Is she practicing or just ethnically Jewish?
Just ethnically Jewish, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. This is gonna come off maybe offensive or whatever, but let's just be honest about it. You're talking about a group of people who call themselves the chosen people, right. So they're inherently going to be pretty solipsistic in their worldview, and that translates and bleeds over into foreign policy, right? The reality is that Israelis simply don't give a shit about Palestinian life or anyone really else. And this is why they've been kicked out of so many different societies and had problems. So, when you call yourself the chosen people, that's going to bleed into your interactions with others.
If they don't serve us in any way, why does the U.S. keep helping them?
It's a fantastic fucking question. And you know what's funny? They wouldn't be able to answer it.
No.
If you ask the government that, they would not be able to answer it. I encourage all you guys to look this up. Richard Nixon did an interview in the 80s or 90s, and the newscaster asked him, why do we support Israel? Because in his memoirs, he admitted that Israel provides us zero strategic benefit. And he said the reason why we support them is because it's a ethical and moral one. Judeo-Christian values, which is a fucking lie in itself. But we do it for more reasons, right? But translation,
is that it, though?
It's not.
Yeah.
The translation is because they have a ridiculous amount of influence in the United States and use that influence to push our foreign policy to their benefit, to our detriment. That's the real reason. But they lie and say it's because of Christian Judeo values or we have a moral obligation to them.
You talked about the 9/11 situation. What did anyone in the U.S. do about those guys celebrating it when it happened?
So this is the beauty of independent media. So I'm 35. I'm old. But I remember, when I was 11 years old and 9/11 happened, you couldn't find this information in the mainstream media because it got shut down quick. So the mainstream media did report on it, but then they quickly got that stuff off the air. And this was a topic that's been banned for very long. But thanks to the resurgence of social media and independent media, we're able to, find out what really happened on that day. And we're figuring out about these intelligence operatives, these Israeli intelligence operatives. And this is all declassified FBI documents. This isn't a conspiracy theory anymore. It's absolutely verified fact that Israeli operatives were caught celebrating and had foreknowledge of the attacks on 9/11. It's absolute fact.
Do you think mainstream media took it away so fast because the mainstream media is controlled by Israelis?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All of the main networks are controlled by Zionist Jews. Or the Murdochs, the Murdochs are hardcore Zionists, even though they might not necessarily be Jewish.
So what about the people in the government who are fully American? What do you think they think about the people who are Israeli in the government, like influencing it? Do you think they have a say?
They don't care because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
They're being lobbied and they just shut up about this topic and don't. And because if you do talk about this, you look at someone like a Thomas Massey, right? They've been trying to get him out for a long time. Cori Bush was anti-Israel, and she said, hey, we need to figure out something with this genocide. The AIPAC spent millions of dollars to make sure she got out. In St. Louis, a region that doesn't even matter to them, but that's how much influence they have, where it's like, oh, you're not pro-Israel? Cool, we're going to fund your opposition and make sure that we crush you. And that's what they do.
That's why we need people like you to bring it to the world.
Hey, man, I'm considered a far-right extremist, so I don't know. But, maybe one day I'll become Fuhrer.
What do you think they can do in the future? Like, if it just keeps going like this, how are we supposed to end it?
Well, the good thing is, right, I'm here on a college campus talking to you guys right now about this problem. You guys are the future. So the more young people that wake up to this problem, the higher the likelihood one of you guys here, someone that's watching, etc., is gonna grow up, get a position of power, get into politics, and know the truth, and then hopefully our government will start to represent that. Okay. Obviously, it's going to take a couple of election cycles for our youth to get in, but the youth overwhelmingly is awakened to this topic, which, my generation, we weren't because we didn't have alternative media to learn this stuff.
Yeah. This is not ICE related, but I'm a freshman. How would you recommend? Obviously, I want to get rich right now. That's the focus. but I'm also studying, and it's a school where you go to get good education.
Yeah.
How would you recommend I balance the amount of study I do to like the work that I do to try and make money? Because I've noticed when I try and put my effort into really grinding on making money, I miss assignments and stuff.
Yeah. It's a balance, and I'll be honest with you, bro, because I remember that, because I was a D1 athlete, and I remember like working a job and, you know, being an athlete and everything else like that. I think the thing for young men, all you guys here, is to get used to suffering in your 20s, right? You're going to have to avoid partying, doing drugs, having fun, whatever, because, you know, let's be honest here, college is an acceptable way to spend 4 years being a degenerate. You know, I was D1 athlete. I get it.
It's a vacation, literally.
You know, it's a vacation, right? But I think with young men, they really need to focus on building their value in their 20s so that they can have an easy decade in their 30s. Because if you don't work hard in your 20s, you're going to suffer in your 30s. You're going to have to make up for it. So, and as you get older and older, it's going to be harder and harder to work hard. So it's going to suck. You're going to have to probably put in some hours and give up a lot of your social time, but it's absolutely worth it.
Okay, thank you. Also,
No worries,
what's it like being with, what's it like being with Tate and those types of guys who are just like,
yeah, no, Tate is great, man. I mean, iron sharpens iron. You want to be around guys that are successful. If you're around 3 successful guys, you'll be the 4th. It's inevitable at some point. So surround yourself with guys that got their stuff together. Don't, you know, do drugs. Don't drink all the time. I know this sounds really cheesy or whatever, but it does add up over time. It really does.
Thank you.
No problem, man.